Now, Northern Ireland won the World Cup of Darts for the first time with victory over Wales in a final leg decider. Darren Gurney and Josh Rock beat two-time champions Goldstein Price and Johnny Clan 10-9 in Frankfurt. This is nuts, by the way. I don't know if you know this, Benny. It came after, of course, the English pair, Luke Littler and Luke Humphries. They were unexpectedly smashed by Germany in the last 16, despite being favourites for the title. Welshman Goldstein Price had some interesting things to say about them. Have a listen. Go on. It's nice to hear darts players being so honest, right? Or even sports people. What you watched this over the weekend, right? And we'll talk about the fact that they didn't come together and they didn't sit next to each other, etc. I don't necessarily know if that's the reason why Luke Littler's hitting 36 because he didn't turn up with Luke Humphries. You watched it over the weekend. What did you make of it?
Honestly, from the get-go, obviously the crowd's energy was big, like loud in there, and they just never got going. Like missed far too many doubles. Their scoring, I wouldn't say, was great. And their opponents fed off the energy of the crowd, really. And they both just looked. I wouldn't say they both looked lost, but Littler certainly looked a lot more nervous than Humphries did. Like Humphries came in, done what he needed to do, but the Littler we see all the time, that just wasn't there. And the further that they put a little run together where I think they went 2-3 down, right, and then it was 3-1, 3-2, and I thought, okay, here comes the run. And even I think the comments started to go, okay, here they go. Again, the German team pulled away again, and they just couldn't recover. And in the end, you looked at their faces, and you just thought they almost looked like they didn't want to be there anymore. Like they've completely just gone. And you know, I was listening to Russ this morning. Russ Bray was on breakfast this morning, and he said he didn't think they'd win it. And then that didn't really make sense to me because I think they are the two best players in the world. Of course they are, by some distance. Yeah. But sometimes it just doesn't work, does it? You have the two best players, and it just doesn't work.
No, I think you got to be pals.
Yeah,
you got to have a little bit in common. You got to enjoy spending time with the other person.
I think you also need as well one to be the alpha and one to be a little bit less. And both of them are and rightly so.
They both think they're the best.
You got the world champion and you got the Premier League champion.
Yeah,
and last year the other one won the world and the other one won the Premier League. So they are the two top dogs. It didn't look like the two German teams. They were together. They were fist pumping. They were like interacting.
I can never get my head around that kind of understanding or even result that you've got the two great players and they don't win it. And even you look at the finalists, right? We spoke to one of the Welsh guys,
Johnny Clayton. We spoke to,
and he said we're going to win it. And I was like, no, you'll come second to us. They did come second, but it wasn't to us. But if I can't understand if you've got two of the game's greatest ever players together as a team, how they can possibly lose. I can't get that.
But that's why I think sometimes you need one of them almost has to be better than the other. But they both...
So the other one has to step up a bit.
Right. But they both rightly think they're the best in the world.
But if you had, right, let's bring it back to something that you love, which is paddle. Yeah. If you had the number 1 and 2 in the world at paddle, they probably would win it.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But if you had number 1 and number 20, they probably wouldn't.
No, I don't know. See,
I've got something. I've got a bun bit with you.
What?
But talking to paddle.
Oh, no, we went to talk about that there. That's an off-air conversation.
Is it?
Yeah, I stamped it in the meeting.
Okay, all right.
Well, we're having lessons. You can say that's fine.
Yeah. How many do you have a week?
Only one. Only one.
I hear you have 3 a week.
No, every Monday.
Just my man told me you have 3 a week.
That's a lie. Only Mondays.
Okay.
Well, what's wrong with that? If you want to be the best, you've got to put time and effort in, by the way. But no, but yeah, it was a shock to me. I genuinely did not think they would get beat the way they did. But they did. And then when they went out, I thought it would be the Welsh boys, and they didn't win it.
Yeah, so, it's very bizarre.
Very bizarre. Shout out Northern Ireland, fair play to you.
Yeah, well done Northern Ireland.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.